Hello and welcome to Two Hopes Garage. My name's Jace, thank you very much for joining us. And today, at long last, I've got some W126 content. It's the rear shock absorber replacement, which if you've been following this car at all, you'll think, that makes no sense at all. The last thing we saw, he was working on the front suspension, and that's hardly been progressed, let alone complete. However, I'm just going for an easy quick win on this one today. Sometimes you need that in life. It takes a job off the board, and that's all it is, I'm afraid. I will get back to the front suspension. It's been giving me some issues. Also, coming up soon, after this one actually, I'm probably going to get back onto the Camaro for the next 2 or 3 videos. It's getting prepped for spring and possibly for sale, which is going to be a bit of a big change in the garage. So, yeah, loads of W126 content to come up. And without any further ado, oh, in fact, no, not without any further ado. Massive thank you to all the new subscribers that have joined us, and also a huge thank you, and it is genuinely appreciated, for the old ones that have been bearing with us. I am very aware of the lack of content that's been coming out here lately, and I do hope to ramp that up a wee bit in the future. So thank you very much, and on to the W126 rear shock absorber replacement. Cheers. Right, first thing to do is get the squab of the back seat out. So, moving down here, we'll see a wee lever here. That moves to the side. Oh, there we go. And just releases the a wee catch to release the back seat. Do that both sides. Right, with a bit of luck, once you've got both of the catches undone, your back seat, there we go, should just slide out like so. Being careful not to damage any of the lovely leather upholstery. It's in remarkably good condition for its age, unlike me. Right, we need to get the backrest of the rear seat out next. We've got wee brackets, one on each side, and they have got, I believe, an 8mm. Excuse the hands. So one 8mm, a wee shake-proof washer. We'll go around the other side and do the other one. And I've been struggling to get the camera to pick up on this. It's in between this bit of plastic and the back of the base on the bulkhead. There's another 8mm bolt just there. So we'll pop that out, and then the seat back will be ready to come out. Right, next up, we'll try and get the seat back out. The idea is we're going to get this lifted up and out the way, and hopefully get it out of the door without damaging anything. I'm realising footage at the moment is not considered amazing. Okay, I think we're good to go, so we're going to lift this up and pop it out. What's this? Well, I've got to say, I wasn't a massive fan of taking that job out, the things that you find. So once it's been unscrewed, the back of the seat clips in behind these, or slots in behind these, and I have to say, it was quite well stuck in. So the next thing they need to do, we've obviously got all of this sound deadening / insulation in the way of accessing our shock covers. So we're just going to gently and carefully prise that forward and out from where it's meant to be, like so. Oh, it's stuck as well. Ah, we've got it glued on here. I'm only going to open these enough on each side, like so, to access our shock covers there. We'll go and get a trim tool. Once we've got our insulation pulled back, just inside the wheel arch, there's a couple of covers. The top round one is for your upper shock mount. So we'll just prise that off. I think it's just a wee ridge inside the circumference. Oh, there you go, how easy is that? And that exposes our upper shock mount, which looks like a 17 and maybe a 5. So I'll go and get a couple of spanners and we'll see what we can do with that. Give them a wee squeeze together and we should be good. Ah, no bother. Let's take our lock nut off. We'll see if we can take this one off without rotating. Ah! No bother, just comes right off, just like that. Should really do stop motion. I've seen a guy do some amazing stop motion stuff. Doing a Range Rover and a Mercedes W123, if I remember right. Some Irish surfer dude. Type in stop motion Irish Range Rover and Mercedes restoration and give his videos a look. I don't know what he's called, but they're amazing. Do you know what? I'll put it up here and you'll thank me for it because this stuff's amazing. And if you do go there, say that Two Hopes Garage sent you there, and I hope he might send some of his many subscribers over my way. That would be grand. So there's our talking and not paying attention here. So there's our rubber bushing out and our flat washer, and that lets us go downstairs and see what we've got downstairs. Grand. Right, now that we're downstairs, get a wee cheeky 17 double depth on here. I'm going to have a wee shot of my air ratchet today. Hopefully it'll be man enough for the task. I've not used it for a while and I do like it. There we go, grand, apart from having the exhaust set to my face. I'll take this out. A little bit crusty, hopefully it'll pass by the stand there. Yep. There we go. Right, let's have a wee swatch at what comes in our Bilstein fitting kit for our shock. So, first of all, 1, 2 M10 bolts with 2 spring washers. Then we have a cup washer, a flat washer, a thin rubber bush and a thicker rubber bush, and a single nylock nut. When we're assembling it up onto our vehicle, obviously they're on the bottom mount, followed by the cup washer, placed slightly unconventionally that way up. You can tell this one's been sitting in the garage a while, it has corrosion. Followed by our thicker of the 2 rubber bushings. They mount up to the underside of the back seat, and then going inside the back we have our thinner of the rubber bushes, followed by a flat washer, and then a single nylock nut replaces the 2 lock nuts that were there fitted previously by Mercedes. This, according to Bilstein, gets torqued up to 25 Newton meters, owing to the fact that I will need to hold the centre shaft in order to torque that up. That's not going to happen due to the logistics of a torque wrench and a socket, so I'll just be compressing these down to a slight bulge and mostly doing it by feel. What I will do is I'll put a wee illustration of how that is all to go together, taken from the Mercedes workshop manual. So that being said, let's get on to the vehicle. Grand. Right, so I've given the mount there a bit of a Scotch-Brite and put some anti-corrosive wax on there. I will be giving this a bit of a tidy up at a later point, but I just thought I'd get these areas that'll be a wee bit less accessible once this is in. So we've got our shock, it's just coming into shot there. As you can see, we've got the cup washer and rubber bushing, and it's got a chamfer both sides on this one. And just pop it up into place. Nice and easy. After a bit of frustration and getting my lad in here to help me out, so what I did was pop this up into its hole. The centre of the strut came through up at the top. I got my lad just to open the door and put the nylock on up there, without the bushes or anything, just to stop it from dropping down in place. As usual with the old Bilstein, they've got a bit of extension on them. So I've got a longer M10 bolt and just use that to draw up into place rather than struggling too much. I've got our other bolts there. I've put a wee bit of thread lock on them, even though there is a wee spring washer on there. So hopefully, with a bit of luck, we'll get that drawn up into place with a longer one, just making sure it's not going to do any damage. Then we can pop these on, hopefully. There we go. Always starting by hand. Our big bolt's done its job. It's drawn the shock into position. So I can pop that out now. There you go, I can see the size of that roughly. It's an M10. I will put the size up on the screen there. I just happen to have one of them hanging around in the garage waiting for a job to come up. So we'll get our other appropriately sized Bilstein supplied bolt up there. I'll pop that in. Righty loosey, lefty tighty, something like that. Right, learning is taking place. There's a reason Mercedes say put this in first, and that's so that this is centred up nicely. I had both of them torqued up downstairs, and it was sitting too far across. So what I've done is I have loosened them off, so it's just getting held in there. Centred it up, and we'll get our new bushes in. Right, so we'll pop our new bush on, centre it up, flat washer on. Now the old one came with the locking nuts. This one, or two nuts to lock down. This one just comes with an eye lock nut. I'm going to give it a wee zap with a ratchet and see if I can get that to bite without moving this. I might need to get a spanner on it and do it manually, or a pair of Nipex pliers to stop it moving, because I don't have a spanner in that size. So here's what we've ended up doing here, and I hate doing it like this. Get the old ratchet ring and hold the centre of the shaft with the Nipex pliers and tighten it up just till we get a slight bulge in the rubber bushing. So we're down a few threads now, and the camera's probably not picking it up, but there's just a slight convex, a slight bulge in that upper rubber and a more pronounced bulge in the lower rubber. So I'm satisfied that that's going to be tight enough, and I'll just pop down and torque up the lower nuts. 45 Newton meters on these. I'll put the equivalent number on the apparently the air ratchet gets pretty near 45. Straight on it. Right, wind our springs back on the torque wrench. Always wind your springs back or you lose accuracy. And I'll head up top. So with regards to fitting the rear seat again, it was a complete pain, and I've not managed to get video footage of it. My lad and I were both in here fitting it. I suspect there's not much footage out there on the internet because it is a pain and doesn't really lend itself to filming it. What I did do, if we'll see if I can get, there we go. I marked off the centres of the clips with a couple of bits of tape on each one, just to align them and make it a wee bit easier to line up to getting in there. Then lifted it up a couple of inches above the level of this and dropped it in, and then we go about fitting our bolts down at this side, and under the armrest. This is on the last bolt to go in. When you're doing the armrest, bring the armrest down and you get a little bit more access Remember, keep your seat belts out from under the legs. We don't want to get them trapped. And this is good to go. We'll get the base of the seat in now, and it's considerably easier than this, I hope. So with the base, it's just a case of shoving it back into place. Yeah, just make sure you get nice positive engagement on your catches and you can't pull the seat back up again. So that's the rear shocks. That back seat, the backrest, was a bit of a pain to get in. One of the things I meant to say in the video, when you're putting that insulation in, a trim tool to help just wedge it into those clips, I found to be a lot of help. So more W126 content to come. Like I said, it's going to be after the next 2 or 3 Camaro videos and then back onto that again. And we'll look at trying to progress that front suspension that's been giving me headaches. But anyway, thanks once again for joining us and hope to see you again soon at Two Hopes Garage. Thank you very much. Cheers.